I love this question.
So what you're talking about here are strongholds. This is where you've already believed a lie somewhere, probably deep in your life, deep in your psychology. And that lie has now become a foundational belief that shapes all of your other beliefs. Really common one is particularly with fathers. A lot of times, fathers will be really hard on their sons. They'll be calloused, they'll be cold, they'll be disciplinarians, they'll be harsh, right? All of these different things. And they say that it's love. Like, the way I'm loving you is by being tough on you to prepare you for life. Now, if you get that as your conception of love, and you now form a belief. So the belief is if someone is being hard on me, if someone is being harsh to me, if someone is being critical, then, and that criticalness is in order to make me better, well, then that person must love me. And oftentimes the opposite will form. If someone is not being harsh with you, if someone is not being critical with you, then you may form the belief that they're being dishonest. So when people are empathetic, when people are kind, when people are exhibiting anything other than the attributes that were given to you by your father and framed in the concept of love, those things will come off as disingenuous or theism versus atheism. If your starting point is that there was no creator, we don't believe in supernatural or spiritual things, we only believe in what we can see, then what you end up with is the need to answer all of the questions of the universe through naturalistic process. And so you start with, I don't believe there was a creator, and then you move to, okay, so I believe in the theory of evolution. I believe that all of these things happen through naturalistic processes. And you start to form all types of different beliefs built off of whatever that one core belief is. And so, in order to deal with a stronghold like that, you have to get at the core belief. So, if Satan is lying to you, and there's an area, for example, that you are susceptible to on a regular basis, then what you need to do is you need to ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you what is the belief and where did that belief originate. So, what is the core belief that all of these other beliefs are built on? That are leaving you vulnerable to deception, right? So you need to start there and ask him, to reveal what is the core belief. And what I find really helpful is to ask to understand what is the moment where you made the agreement that that thing was true, whatever the belief is that you have. What was the moment that you made the agreement that it was true? I just recently went through this. I've had a lot of anger in my life, and it's always been in very like strange places, like where it vents out has been really weird. Like for a long time, it was traffic, and then I finally got to a point where it seemed like that was resolved, and more recently, it started to come up again. I was playing video games with my kids, and I used to be a gamer. I gamed like a lot in my youth, but I haven't played in a long time, and I'm sitting here playing with my kids and they're smoking me. And I found myself like really angry about that, which is completely irrational and ridiculous. But it was like, God, man, like, why am I getting so angry? I mean, I'm 40 years old. My reaction speed isn't what it used to be, Like, why am I expecting myself to be able to just like be as competitive as I was when I was like 15? That's crazy. And yet I couldn't help it. It just like that anger would just come up. And from that, in that place of anger, the adversary had like easy access to my soul. And so as I was praying and asking the Lord, I'm like, Lord, like, why is this coming up? I mean, this doesn't even like this is irrational. It doesn't make any sense. But the emotions are there, and I don't know why. And what he showed me was that I made some agreements about who I am when I was like 17 because there was a girl that I dated, and we were young. I mean, I was like from like 14 to 17, so it was like we were kids. And there the breakup felt like the biggest failure of my life. And I carried that for a really long time because I really loved this girl, and so it just that failure has been like a framework for me for going on almost 25 years now. And I thought I had dealt with it, but what he showed me is that there were still some areas where I had agreed about that being a failure on my part, and there was shame associated to that failure. And so through that shame, Satan was able to come and find easy access to me anytime that I fail in anything. It doesn't even matter. The simplest thing, it could be failing at opening a pickle jar. It literally does not matter. Anywhere that I fail, there's a belief that I should have been better, that I should have known better, I should have been better, I should have been able to solve this, right? And that should is a belief that has framed so many other beliefs for me throughout the course of my life. I should be able to beat the kids at the video game. I should be able to, not get cut off in traffic, and I should be able to avoid traffic, right? Whatever it is, all of these things are now these beliefs that spin off of this one area of shame where I'm basically in perpetual competition with that shame, trying to prove that that shame is invalid, that that I am better, that I'm not that person. You know what I mean? So this is how these strongholds work is there's these moments that happen in our life that are defining moments, and we make agreements in those moments, and those agreements then become core beliefs that multiple other beliefs start to stem from, and we have to trace it back to that stuff, and then again have the Holy Spirit reveal, like, what is the truth. What's the truth? And then we have to agree with that truth. And agreeing with that truth is hard sometimes. Like in my instance, when the spirit brought me back to that relationship, the truth I had to agree with was that we were kids. Like I was a kid. I was a 16-year-old, like it's unfair of me to think that I should have known better when I'm operating with the mind of a child. And that's hard for me to accept because that means that well, it means I'm not perfect, right? Like that's a hard thing for me to accept because that it hits at the ego, it hits at control. Like that means that there was a situation in my life that I couldn't control. And for most of my life I've always fought to even the ones that I had no control over, I fought to grab control of. So it's like if you're, a belief that I've held for a long time is that you're only a victim in the moment you've been victimized. Everything after that is your responsibility. And while that is true, the angle on it that I was taking wasn't that it's true that I am not perpetually trapped in that victimhood. That's what you should be taking from that. What I was taking from that was I can take control of everything that happened after that victimhood, after that moment of being victimized. I can take control of all of that. And in many cases, I would take that and then use it. Like, oddly enough, Satan would then use that against me by going, well, if you can control everything after, you should have controlled it before and never been in that situation in the first place. And so, really, it's your fault. And so then everything becomes my fault. And so I had to go through a process with the Lord, which I mean, being completely transparent here, I'm still going through this process with Him right now to heal that place because there's been a lot of damage that's been done to my life as a result of that place remaining unhealed, and all the stuff that came from that, beliefs about control, beliefs about failure, beliefs about myself, about my identity, about what I should have done, where I should have been, now having to do the reverse of accepting that I wasn't in control and that I was a child and that, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was, and, all the stuff that goes with that. It's like I gotta eat all that now, but in that is grace. Like there's grace in that place, and it allows me to the best way I could put it is there is safety in recognizing that we are weak and that we are fragile, and that without the Spirit, uh, we are susceptible. And that's a hard truth for me to accept. And so I'm having to just continuously work with the Lord to accept that truth. And that's a process. And so the stronghold, the abolishment of the stronghold, or the rooting out of the stronghold, while that can happen instantaneously, the rebuilding of what needs to fill that space, that's the part that takes time and is something you have to walk out with the Spirit. So to wrap all this up, basically, if you're continuously finding yourself susceptible to certain lies, Ask the spirit to show you where the belief is that those lies are stemming from, and ask him to show you the moment that that belief was formed, and then walk with the spirit through the process of unwinding those agreements, and then asking him to reveal to you what agreements you need to replace them with, because it's not enough to just unwind the agreement. The agreement exists for a reason, and so it needs to be ratified with a different agreement. So, one agreement needs to be canceled and a new agreement needs to be made. Hope that helps. If you have any more questions on that topic, definitely let me know in the comments. As always, if you like this content, do me a favor, repost, help me get out there. My goal here is to help the people that need help. I want to be a resource to those that are working through some of these more complex spiritual topics. So anybody that sees this video, if you found value in it, like I said, just please give me a repost, or if you have questions of your own, drop them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them for you. So until next time, see you guys.